More left, right, whatever.
Yeah, I'm flow, by the way. Yeah, what up? We're in the building with DJ Legal.
You're already Snow though.
Yeah, 25 years, man. How does it feel?
Man, it's a long time, you know. I mean, you can say the very first years doesn't really count because we actually founded the Snowgoons in '99, but it took like 8 years before we actually really dropped our first album, you know. So it was a long way. So technically, it is really since '99, but practically it was more since 2007 when the German Mugga album dropped. That was when people start recognizing Snowgoons, you know. But still, '99 was the founding year, so technically also it's already 26 years.
Yeah, 26
so you know, but yeah, time is flying, man. You know, but that's when you love and live hip hop. That's what it is.
Okay.
Let's go. Snowgoons. You already know you gotta watch out, man. Snowgoons go. It's a Snowgoons infantry. You already know. Snowgoons. You already know you gotta watch out, man. It's Snowgoons go. It's a Snowgoons infantry. You already know. Word.
Wanted to ask you, what does Snowgoons mean to you after all these years?
It is still basically it's like the first day, you know. We're doing this with all the love for hip hop. Basically, it's never about the money. If you look at the Snowgoons, we never really changed, you know, as far as like the music, because you know we don't care about commercial shit or whatever, and we just do this because we love the music, and we're very fortunate that we can still do this today. Our way, you know, we're independent, we have our own label, we drop and release whatever we want, and I guess that's the beauty of it, you know, we can't just do whatever we want to do, and that's how we do it, and that's the only way, the Snowgoons way. For sure.
Okay. How's working with so many people and having so many projects? Does it sometimes overwhelm you?
In a way, yeah. I mean, it's quite a lot, you know. If a lot of people don't even really know how much work is behind every album, you know, because if you're an artist out there and you already know how it is when you work with 2-3 artists, but now imagine you're doing an album with, especially back in the days, with like 20 songs and you have probably like 40 or more artists on it. I think the Snowgoons Dynasty album had like 86 artists or something on it, you know, so that's quite a lot, because you have to understand, you have to communicate with every single rapper, and everybody has to be on the same page. There's a lot of information that comes forward and down. There needs to be mixes approved, all of this shit. It's definitely a big, you know, a workload to do, but at the end of the day, like I said, we love hip hop, and we love to do it, and then that keeps us going, you know, like that's, so it is, no matter how much work it is, at the end of the day, we do this all for hip hop.
As a producer, what do you get your inspiration from?
Like always, I mean, basically when it comes straight to producing beats, everything, like literally everything. I can see something in a movie, and then I record it, or I found some sound pieces, or just even I can be with my wife in a restaurant and in the background is playing some music, and next thing I know it's like, oh shit, this is a dope melody, and then I get inspired, you know. And but yeah, and then sometimes it's like there is some times where I don't do a beat for like 6 weeks or longer, you know. It's like, it's not like that you're just gonna sit down and start doing beats. You have to be in the mood, at least for me, you know. It for the most part it comes kind of automatically. I hear something, or even I see something. It's just always like, you know, sounds or anything visual that kind of inspires me to start sitting on the computer and start doing beats.
Okay, so it's you say it's in your back, it's in the back of your mind.
Yeah,
always.
Also, I mean that's and then, you know, I got a DJ background too, right? And it's it's like you can ask any DJ. A DJ can never go into a club and enjoy, you know, like it's always, you always analyze the music, the mixing, and all of this stuff, you know. It's like, I guess that's with everything, anybody doing something very specific, and you're doing this outside of when you regularly do it, you absorb, you know. It's like that's, but you know, yeah, at the end of the day, man, it doesn't matter, you know, as long as you keep going and do what you love, you know. That's for us very important, because we never would like just be like, oh, you know what, let's see what is trending right now, you know, this is what everybody's going, let's do that as well, you know. We never did like that, so we just always did like what we wanted to do, you know.
Yeah, indeed.
Hey yo, Romania! Mulțumesc, yo! This was super dope, yo! Yo, what's rocking with us tonight? Give it up, yo, for real! Hip-hop is worldwide, right? All the way from Romania to Germany to USA and all the way back, yo!
What was it like Snowgoons back in the day? Back in '99, because you said about.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning was definitely tough, you know. I mean, me, myself, and I, and Dead Gunner, basically, we started doing just random beats, and at the time we didn't even really know I mean, we never even had in mind that we're doing an album or anything. We did mixtapes, right? And we just had fun with the music. Yeah. So we started doing remixes, basically, you know. Back in the days, there was always the 12-inch singles where they had a cappellas from every song on. So we did like mixtapes, and we was like, you know, how can we make this mixtape more exclusive? So we had the idea to do our own beats. So we mixed our own beats with like classic a cappellas, you know, from Nas or Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, whatever, anything that we liked. And then so we did our own remixes, and that's how it kind of started. Then we realized, oh man, yeah, this beats is cool, whatever, and we gave it to some people, and then they were saying like, especially because I'm weak from Germany, right? So at the time, the late 90s, there was already coming up a lot of German artists, a lot of German rappers, and when we gave them some beats, there was always like, you know, I don't know, this sounds like American beats, and we was like, what the fuck is an American beat? The beat is a beat, you know. I can understand it's like kind of boom bap-ish or 90s or whatever, of course, but like, what is an American beat? So, but because a couple German artists was telling us like, yo, this sounds like some American beats, so we was like, oh, well, then we might as well just working with Americans, you know. That's how we more start working with more American artists than with like German artists.
7 by AOTP. One of my favorite tracks of all time. How was it like working on it and producing it?
Well, that's actually up to Signature, you know, because he did that beat together with Ill Bill, you know. So I can't really tell you much about it. All I know is it turned into a crazy classic, you know, and it has that typical Signature sound. And he just does those beats once in a while, you know, like he's not doing it like every day, of course. Once in a while he did like something like Get Off the Ground or like Goon Bag and stuff like that, you know. He has that kind of beats, and because you know, the Snowgoons, it's not only me. This Dead Gunner, like I said, me and him founded the Snowgoons in the late 90s, and then Signature came into the scene, you know, and we clicked right away, and and since that, everything else is history. It's like I said it on stage today, actually Ill Bill was the reason why we started doing Snowgoon shows, because we started touring with Ill Bill back then. I was DJing for him, and Signature was like his basically backup MC or whatever, you know, supporting him on stage. And then in between he let Signature Rocker join, and after this tour there was promoters coming up, and they was like, yo, don't you want to do a Snowgoons show? And we never even thought about that, you know. We had not the idea of touring as Snowgoons, because we saw us more as like producers basically, and so it was never like visualizing doing an actual show. But then we got asked to do some shows, and me and Signature was like, yo, let's do it, why not, you know. At the time, you have to understand, at the time we barely had some songs with Signature together, basically. He had his solo songs, and we had only like 1 or 2 songs together basically where Signature is rhyming. So we did the first couple shows, was kind of a little mix of like DJing and playing some Snowgoon songs with, of course, him doing his thing, you know. But we built it up, and it grew, and you know, people seem to like it, so we just keep on rocking. And now, like I said, 25 years later, we're still here, we're still rocking, and we're still rapping, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, man.
I have one more question.
Yeah, no doubt.
What made it click for you when you started making music?
It came naturally, I would say. I remember as a kid, I had some sort of a mixtape. It wasn't mixed, it was just a tape, right, with songs. This was in the early 90s, basically, and it was from my uncle, basically, and he had the tape, and there was some songs on it from like German stuff, Nina, or like Scorpions. It was pretty mixed up, like Michael Jackson or Aha, and like just like pop music. But then there was a song from Sugar Hill Gang back then, right, and I was basically a kid, and I just remember whenever I listened to the whole tape, because you know, for some reason this tape was my favorite tape, and I was always listening to it. But every time when Sugar Hill Gang came up, that was my favorite song, because it was different. It sounded different than all the other songs. And at the time, I didn't even speak English or anything, but I still could kind of feel that this song, the message, right? The song is called The Message. It was like a message for me, you know, because I could still feel the fire in the words and everything, you know, and even understanding nothing but like listen to it. And then I guess there it already I kind of, you know, made my taste for hip hop basically, and yeah, that's really my first memory, kind of without even knowing it's hip hop. At the time I was a kid, I didn't say like, oh, this is pop music, this is rock, this is heavy metal. It didn't matter to me. It was just all music, right? Yeah. But yeah, that song was my favorite song, and then, you know, I guess from there on it became automatically. So it was really natural to get into hip hop.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mulțumesc.
It was a pleasure. Respect.
Cu plăcere.
All right. Yep. You're welcome. Cool.